The next phase of the Safety Climate Tool process is the build phase. In this phase, we build upon what we've already done in the planning phase, identifying those demographics and how we're going to distribute our survey. To build a new survey within your account, you need to click on the Safety Climate Tool template. It's the template where you build your surveys within your account. Once you click onto the template, you can hit the New Survey button to open the wizard and start tailoring your Safety Climate Tool survey. Also within the template, you're able to select the help file by clicking on Survey Help. This opens up in a separate window, giving you the PDFs to read more information about how to build your survey. If you click on the New Survey button, a new box will open, telling us to name our survey. So, if we call this Safety Climate Tool Example, and accept the terms and conditions, we can then hit Create Survey. The wizard will then start to open. Once the wizard is opened, it is simply the case of clicking through the wizard, filling out the survey, tailoring it to your organization's needs. You're able to enter the name of your organization, as well as upload a logo for your organization. You'll then be asked to enter how many you intend to survey within the Safety Climate Tool. You also have the ability to include a web link for those responding online. For those that are responding online, you can enter a web link in here to take them to a page on your internet. For example, if you have a specific drive or something that you're promoting within the workplace at the moment, if you leave this blank, upon hitting submit, staff will see a "Thank you for completing this survey." You're also able to enter the background for your survey, why we're doing this survey, and what the purpose of it is. You're also able to include an expected completion date, for example, March 2020. For those that are using paper versions of the survey as identified in your planning phase, you can enter instructions here about where to send your paper responses. For example, you may have a ballot box set up in an area where staff can drop off the responses to the survey. The next part of the wizard is about how feedback will be given. This is important as staff will want to know how the results will be fed back to them from this survey. You can also include a management statement showing commitment from senior management. In this area, you're also able to upload a management signature should you need to. We now move on to the demographic phase for your Safety Climate Tool. Here is where we start to include the demographics that you have identified as part of your planning phase. As talked about in the planning phase, the only required demographic is the role demographic. However, the word role can be changed to grade, position, or band to better reflect the terminology used in your organization. You can have up to 5 of these roles, grades, bands, positions, and once you've selected how many you need, you hit the Next button. After hitting the Next button, you can then tailor the terms. So, for example, I put here Director, Supervisor, Manager, Employee, and Admin Support. You can tailor these to whatever is relevant to your organization. You then have the optional demographics. So, for example, we start with Department, or again, you could rename this to Team, Section, Area, and you can have up to 10 of these. So, for example, again, I've selected 10, and I've already pre-written these out, so we can see I've got up to 10 departments. You also have the option to use multiple sites, or locations, regions, or offices. Again, all this will be done within your planning phase to allow you to tailor what it is you actually need, so when you come to building your survey, you can do it very quickly and effortlessly as possible. You can then also ask about the age of your staff, if that is something you wish to use for your analysis. You'll also have the ability to talk about tenure, if you're interested to see those that have joined the organisation within less than a year, or those that have been there for more than 15 years. These terms, however, can be tailored, so if you have specific tenure groups that you would like to look into, or you would like to use, say, shorter periods or even longer periods, you can tailor these and change them to what it is that you want from your survey. You can also talk about work type as well. For example, you might want to make a distinction between those that do office work and those that are more field or practical based. The final optional demographics are gender, accident rate, and whether or not a person is a contractor. These have fixed responses, for example, yes or no to someone being a contractor, and therefore are not able to be tailored by yourselves. However, as these are optional, you can select none of the above. We then move on to the open questions within the wizard. Here you can add up to 6 open questions. We have already included 6 questions within the wizard to give you a guidance as to what type of questions you might want to ask. So, for example, if I hit suggestions for improvement on health and safety, another box opens where it says, please give 3 suggestions that you feel would give the biggest improvement to health and safety. This question you can tailor and change to your own style and how you would ask that question in your organisation. You do have the option to ask up to 3 of your own questions. So, for example, if there's something specific that you would like to ask, you can ask that here. But recall, the responses to these results are open-based. Therefore, staff will be responding in free text. If you do not wish to use any open questions, just hit none of the above selection box. The final part of the wizard is tailoring the terms to your organisation. So, for example, if we take the bottommost option, the statement, the plant shows interest in my views on health and safety, well, the term plant might not be the term that you use. So we could change that to the organisation. This means that this statement would now read, the organisation shows interest in my views on health and safety. This is allowing it to tailor it to the people that are filling out the survey. Again, you have a few more options to go through on the next page. The final part of the wizard is where we ask you for information about where the information for this survey is coming from. In that respect, what we're asking is what sector does this information best reflect? For example, if your organisation is predominantly the healthcare, we ask you to select whether or not that's private or public healthcare, and to give us additional details about the different activities or more specific description of your organisation's activities. The reason we ask for this information is to provide you with more sector benchmarks that are up to date and accurate to better reflect those using the Safety Climate tool. Upon filling this out, you can hit the Next button and click Build to build your survey. Once your survey is built, you'll then be taken to this page. And then if we click the Build link, we can go in and see the survey that we've just created. However, although we've built our survey, we still have the chance to edit and change things before we make it go live. So, for example, if I hit the edit button in the top bar, anything that is blue I can still edit and change. So, for example, if I needed to use a more up-to-date logo, I could select and click the logo and find the new image that I need to upload. I may also have a spelling error within the background. So, for example, I could enter change and click the OK button to make that edit. Then, as we scroll down, we can see each of the 40 items, and then we'll see our demographics. At this point, we can tailor our demographics and change some of the spelling. I then need to make sure I click the Save button to save any changes that I've made. However, should we wish to include a new demographic or remove a demographic, we need to click the Rebuild button. Upon clicking the Rebuild button, the wizard will reopen and will allow you to make those changes to remove or add in an additional question. Once you've made those changes and happy the survey is as you want it to be, then you can move on to the Collect phase of your Safety Climate Tool process.